Howdy and welcome. Today we're going to be discussing the 8-step Singapore approach to model drawing. And we're going to be using an addition problem as an example to get our feet wet and see how this strategy would look in your classroom. We're going to be using the 8-step model drawing book from Bob Hogan and Shar Forston. I'll make sure that I drop a link in the description below if you're looking to enrich your professional library. The first step in the 8-step Singapore approach is to read the entire problem and picture what is going on in your mind. Here's the problem. Ashley read 2 books. She also read 3 magazines. How many books and magazines did she read? Step 2 is to check who is involved in the problem. So in this case, Ashley is involved in the problem. Is there anyone else in the problem? No. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Ashley's name and we're going to move it from the problem to the left side of our paper. And we're simply going to write Ashley. The third step in the problem-solving process is to ask Ashley's what? Ashley's pets, Ashley's buttons, Ashley's snacks. What are we talking about? And we're talking about books and magazines. So in this problem, there are 2 variables. So Ashley's books is the first thing we're talking about. So we're going to make that possessive by adding an apostrophe S. So Ashley's books. And we're going to make a separate row for Ashley's magazines. So whose magazines are they? Ashley's magazines. That's the third step in our process, is labeling what we're talking about. Okay, the fourth step in the process is we need to draw 1 unit bar directly to the right of each variable. So for Ashley's books, we're going to draw a unit bar. And for Ashley's magazines, we're going to draw a unit bar. Now with these unit bars, they have to be the same size and equal length. So we want to make sure that while we're drawing this, we're drawing these unit bars accurately. Otherwise, this can lead to misconceptions later. So Ashley's book, I'm going to draw 1 unit bar. And Ashley's magazines, I'm going to draw 1 unit bar. Now we represent each of the variables with the unit bar. Now these are the 4 steps of the first 4 steps of the 8-step model, and these 4 steps help set up the problem. Okay, so this is the basic setup to the model drawing, and now we're going to actually jump into the drawing process. So step 5 is we're going to read each sentence one by one. So we're going to read the story. We're going to stop and read each sentence one by one to see what we've learned. Let's read the first sentence. Ashley read 2 books. Okay, so what information did we gather from this? So Ashley read 2 books. That's correct. So if the first unit bar represents each book she read, do we have all the unit bars we need? No, we do not. How many unit bars do we need? 2. So we need to add 1 more unit bar. And what we want to make sure we're doing is we're labeling each unit. So this unit represents 1 book, and this unit bar represents the second book. So together, Ashley's books, there's 2. Okay? So now we're going to move on to the second sentence. She also reads 3 magazines. She also read, 3 magazines. Okay, so we look at our unit bar. Do we have enough? No, so we need to draw an additional unit and an additional unit. Okay, so all together, the magazines that Ashley has read represents the number 3. Wonderful. Now we can move on to read the last sentence. How many books and magazines did she read? This brings us to our question. And that leads us again to step number 6. And 6 is where we're actually going to put a question mark in the place of the information we need to find out. So what do we need to find out? We're looking for how many books and magazines Ashley read in all. So this is going to be represented by a brace because we want to combine the two unit bar models, and we're going to add in our question mark there. So there's a part and a part, and we're looking for the whole. There is an addend and an addend, and we're looking for the sum. Step number 7, we're going to work on the computation, and we can do that over here on the side by the question mark or underneath the unit bars. For spacing, we need to write under the unit bars. So we have 2 and 3, and that is equal to 5. Now, we can show our work when we're done adding, and we can ask our students if there's anyone else that solved this problem a different way. And a student might say, well, I counted each individual unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got the total of 5, and that is great. We want our mathematicians to share and communicate their solutions to these problems as we're working through it. And the final step is we are going to answer the question in a complete sentence. And so here we would write it at the bottom. I'm going to try to scoot it back so you can see a little bit. So I'm going to actually use the question to help me frame my answer. So how many books and magazines did she read? Ashley read 5 books and magazines. I'm sorry, that's pretty low, but I wanted to be close so y'all can see the chart. All right, so this is the 8-step approach to model drawing that was designed by Singapore Math. I hope you can see the value of how this is sketched out, how the students see that it's being built, and the effect of the conceptual understanding that students will have when they see these unit bars with equal length. I have no doubt that you'll be able to be using this strategy in no time in your classroom. Thanks for joining. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my next video.